Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to Josh Banday for joining us today, one of the stars of the new ABC show, Not Dead Yet. Thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you, Kiara. It's an honor to be here.
Tell us a bit, what's been the main element in Dennis' character and the show in general that fascinates you the most and drew you to join Not Dead Yet?
No, I don't enjoy it. No, terrible answer. No, I do. I really love the series. It has a lot of heart. Um, at the core of a series that's about a girl whose life explodes, and she goes to work at a small newspaper in town and finds that she can see the ghosts that she's writing obituaries for. Even though that sounds like a really fantastical show, what attracts me to it is that it's very human and it's honestly very grounded and natural because it's all about what happens when your life doesn't go the way that you thought. And I think that's, at least in the last 2 years, everyone on earth has gone through some experience with that. I had my experiences with it. And so finding that in Dennis was the beautiful exploration of this particular project with me. Yeah.
And on a personal level, is there any feature in Dennis' character you can relate to personally as a human being? Where are you two
Mm,
most similar and where are you two most different, in your opinion?
Dennis, for me, in finding his character, is you know how you ever look at like a sound studio where someone's recording and they have all those different faders that go up and down? Dennis is just certain aspects of me dialed up to a 10. And so all of my nervousness and all of my, kind of flamboyance and honestly parts of my femininity and feminine self really come to the forefront as Dennis. And um, it was beautiful to be able to play a character very different than what I'm used to playing. And he's also a very intelligent. He's also very funny and bisexual as well, which is something we both share. Yeah, it was a real honor to be able to play him.
Great. And to all the fans that haven't watched Not Dead Yet,
Hmm.
how would you describe the show if you had just like three words?
Oh gosh. I would say it's we have a term in the States called Bessies, where it's like your best friend, the best friend of your best friend. I would say ice cream. I'm choosing everything with like two words as one. I'm cheating. I realize that. But you know how like you've got that ice cream in your fridge that, you know, is like it's there when you need it at like the worst possible times. And you're like, I'm just gonna have some ice cream. This is that kind of a show. It doesn't ask a lot of you, but it's just right there. And I would say uh heartfelt is the last one.
Great,
There's a lot of heart in the show. Yeah.
great. And you already like teased a little about the show and what does it deals with, but what can you tease about Dennis' journey throughout this season one of Not Dead Yet? What can we expect from him?
um uh Dennis is throughout the show, he has a really interesting and beautiful arc. If you're paying attention, it's happening, in the B story of the episode. But he deals with some issues with family. We saw in the last episode he's really worried about being a dad. There's more of that. There's also issues with him being nervous and speaking to powerful figures like Lexi in the show, and kind of coming into his own voice, I think, is very Dennis. And at the end, the finale, there's a very emotional, beautiful moment with him that I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully, it's not terrible.
No,
We'll see.
we're all looking forward to seeing it.
Hopefully so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And acting wise, what's been the main challenge that you experienced in portraying Dennis?
You know, um, I'll tell you a story. I haven't told very many people this. But during, I mentioned the finale, and when we filmed it, it was one of the most difficult times in my life because my dad was in the process of passing away. And there's a very emotional scene that that is happening in Dennis's life that I had to perform. And what was really difficult at first, I was really worried because I was tamping down these feelings in my personal life so that I could do the acting, right?
Yeah.
I needed to be Dennis. I didn't want to be Josh. I didn't want to bring Josh into this. But in the moment, the kind of climax of the scene where Dennis really needs to show his feelings and be emotional, tapping into those things as Josh, gave them meaning and gave them, a different perspective. And so when you watch that scene in the finale, it is very much the real emotions of me as a person coming through the lens of this character. And it was a challenge, but it's also one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had as an
Yeah,
actor or as a person.
I'm sure of it. Wow.
Mhm. Like I said, I hope it's not bad.
No,
It just
I'm sure it's
comes
not.
out like, we'll see.
And talking instead about the environment on set, how would you describe your experience filming Not Dead Yet with the rest of the cast and the crew? And do you have any fun anecdotes to share with us?
So the set was unlike any other set I've ever been on ever. Um, because we had a lead, Gina Rodriguez, who was also pregnant at the time. And I said this afterwards. I'm like, every set needs a pregnant Gina Rodriguez because it totally changed everything. Like sets are usually they're pretty broy. Like they're mostly like dudes,
Yeah.
they're working, putting up lights and like, let's get this take. And like, we only got 20 minutes. And there's a lot of like, "Ugh." But when you have when you have a pregnant woman as your lead, who also is like a very strong-willed person, everybody's just like, how's your family doing? And like, is everything okay? I know your kids had a soccer game this weekend. How did it go? It was completely different. We were all like in each other's lives. We knew what was going on. We wrapped that last day, and I was just like, I'm not going to cry. I don't want to be one of those actors that's like, thank you so much. But once they called, that's a series wrap on Dennis, I was just a complete mess. I just ugly cried,
Yeah.
through the tissues, snot, all the things. It was amazing.
And now a little fun question that we always ask to the
Sure.
people we're interviewing, and considering we're talking about Not Dead Yet, it's on the Not Dead Yet universe. If you could choose any other character on the show apart from Dennis that you would have loved to play if you could, which one would it be and why?
Oh, that's a great question. Um, I think it would be really fun to play. I think it'd be really fun to play Lexi, who's like the rich, right? Like the rich, like honestly, I think Lauren knocks it out of the park and is so much better than I am at every aspect of that role. But it's just such a great excuse to be a total jackass to people, which is very outside of my character. I'll apologize to a trash can if I run into it with that. Be like, I'm so sorry. Like, but to play Lexi, who's just unapologetic and rich as all as anything, I think that
Yeah,
would be awesome.
it would be the funniest thing ever, I think.
Yes, very not typecast. I would love that.
And going back instead to the origins of your career as an actor, how did the
Mhm.
passion for acting come about in your life?
I mean, for me, I grew up in a home where being funny was part of staying in control and maintaining balance. So I had impressions of family members and impressions of celebrities, anything I could do to make my parents laugh. That's where it started. But I didn't know how to get into the business, and I didn't really know it was a business, and I didn't see anyone like me on screen. so I didn't know that it was possible. And I went through life. I didn't really act very much. I wrote, and then I lost a bet in college, and uh, trying to get someone's phone number, and they were like, "No, I'm not going to give it to you." And so then the pay up was I had to audition for the musical, and I ended up getting a really small role, and I just loved it.
And that
Yeah, and
changed it all.
it kind of did. It kind of couldn't stop after that.
That's so beautiful to hear. And
Yeah,
among
thanks.
all the roles and the projects you've worked on, that you have the chance to work on throughout your career so far, is there any particular role that you're mostly fond of?
Oh, wow. Um, I mean, Dennis is really forefront in my heart, and Ivan playing Ivan on Upload was a great foil to playing Dennis. But I'm really proud. It's really it's kind of a weird answer, but I did a kids show this during COVID, and it's on Apple TV, and it's called The Slumberkins.
Oh,
And
I know
no,
that.
do you know The Slumberkins?
I've heard of that.
No one knows about that show. But like I got the role, and it's a kids TV show with like the puppets from Jim Henson, and it's really cute and the music is good. But I read the scripts, and some of them, all of them were so beautifully written, and the way that my character parents does parenting is the same way that I would do it. It's just with like this kindness and understanding, and still expectation. All the things that I love about parenting are in that, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful show. And like the best episode of it hasn't aired yet. I can't tell you what it is, but there's an episode of that show that is one of the best things I've ever read in my career, and it's a kids show. I'm just
Yeah.
I so want to tell you about it. You interview me after it airs because it's so good.
Okay,
But
we'll do it.
the Slumberkins,
We'll
yes,
surely do it.
please.
And
Yeah, sounds good.
let consider that I think that nowadays kids show are really on such a great level. I mean, they're incredible. I did some babysitting like in the past, and kids have some incredible shows nowadays to watch. To They're so also educating but entertaining as well. And the screenplay, it's so well written. It's incredible.
Mm. Yeah, they're really doing a good job. When I was a kid, it was just sort of like they
They
were
have
hitting each
like
other with things.
they have like nothing that's not as good as adult shows.
Yeah, yeah. Some, especially like Bluey. Bluey was like incredible. Now, yeah, these shows are way off the charts. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
And our final question, if you
Sure.
had to give some advice to young people who wants to pursue a career in entertainment, may it
Mhm.
be an acting career or a writing career or directing one, which kind of advice would you give them?
Oh, that's a great question. Usually I give advice to just actors, but I think anybody in entertainment kind of follows one thing. I'll give you a piece of kind of, lofty advice, and then I'll
Yeah.
give you one thing you can do, like if you want. Okay. The lofty advice is this: no matter what you do in this business, in the entertainment business, never lose track of the story that you want to tell. And it's a story that is unique to only you, because only you have lived your life in your person. And you will spend a lot of time telling other people's stories, but hold on to the things that are close to you, whatever they are, because one day someone will give you a chance, or one day you'll have to fight for that story. And if you're holding it close enough, you can change the whole world. Here's the concrete advice that you can do. And that's that once a day, take 10 minutes, get a notebook. And at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, write about the last 24 hours, just one memory in the last 24 hours. This is something called homework for life. Just one story. You went for a walk in the rain. You made pancakes for someone you were babysitting. You had an interview with an amazing actor, Josh Banday. It changed everything. Do that. Just write it down, no matter what it is, no matter how mundane it is. And don't show it to anybody and just keep it to yourself. And then at the end of a couple weeks or at the end of a month, look back and see which one of those stories you think would be worth telling and turn it into something. And or not, just mark it down. And it's how you keep track of the beautiful stories in your life. I did this and it changed everything for me, but I don't want to spoil the ending. It's this wonderful thing that happens. So that's the concrete thing I have for you.
Thank you so much, Josh. It's been,
Thank you, Kiara.
It's been great to have you here and to chat with you.
Grazie. Was that
Prego.
terrible? Was that terrible
No, it
pronunciation?
was
It's
so
just bad.
good.
You're very sweet.
No, that's so true. I really mean it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
And let's remind people that Not Dead Yet airs Wednesdays on ABC. And we're really looking forward to seeing more of Dennis' journey and all the characters.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, Kiana.
Bye.
Bye.